Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where we delve deep into the fascinating realm of collectibles and uncover the incredible stories behind seemingly ordinary items. Today, we have an enthralling topic that is bound to pique your interest: the tale of a single 1-cent coin minted in 2011, a humble penny that, due to a series of extraordinary errors and misprints, has garnered an eye-popping valuation of $1,240 billion. Yes, you heard that correctly, a penny, which usually holds a face value that is negligible in our everyday transactions, is transformed into a treasure trove of opportunities and a symbol of what can happen when minting processes go awry. It may sound unbelievable, but this story illustrates the captivating intersection of chance, error, and the fervent passion behind coin collecting. Before we rush headlong into the intriguing details of this specific penny, let's establish some foundational knowledge about where such valuations arise in the world of numismatics, the practice of collecting coins. In essence, the value of coins is not determined solely by the metal they are made from or their face value. Rather, it is often dictated by rarity, demand, historical significance, and, most crucially, the errors that occur during the minting process. The U.S. Mint has a long history of producing coins that sometimes contain errors, and each mistake can lead to a coin being sought after by collectors in a way that drives its value to astonishing heights. Errors can occur in various forms. They can be die errors, planchet errors, or striking errors, and in the case of our penny, we will explore several of these misprints that contribute to its jaw-dropping valuation, from double-struck images to coins minted on incorrect planchets. The fascinating world of errors can create pieces of currency that are not just valuable but also tell a story louder than any ordinary coin could boast. Imagine a single penny, a coin that typically holds little financial weight, suddenly being thrust into the limelight because of a minting flaw. For example, one of the most prevalent errors, the die error, occurs when the coin's design is imprinted incorrectly, sometimes leading to misalignment, which can yield coins that are off-center or display doubled images. Think about holding a penny that bears an image of Abraham Lincoln with an additional ghostly outline beside it, indicating a second strike. Such coins, depending on their condition and rarity, could escalate in value to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now back to our 2011 penny. The specifics of its mistakes play a significant role in its valuation. Several key points of interest have been identified among collectors, the first being the potential for a wrong planchet error, which manifests when coins are struck on blank metal pieces that were not intended for the given denomination. For example, if our penny were mistakenly struck on a nickel planchet, it would not only weigh more but also present a fascinating curiosity that collectors would scramble to obtain, because now we're introducing a narrative of error, mystery, and desirability that elevates its worth well beyond its original value. Another error type of significant interest is the brokerage error, where a coin inadvertently strikes another coin, resulting in one face being visible with the mirrored image of the opposing side. Picture possessing a penny that reveals both the Lincoln portrait and the reverse design simultaneously. Now that's a find that could leave even the most seasoned collector breathless. And let's not overlook the misaligned strike, those coins where designs appear to drift from the center, making them look unusual and thus more appealing to collectors. With each of these errors, we delve deeper into the world of potential treasures that might lay hidden in circulation. Once you start to realize that a penny, like this 2011 one, could ultimately be a gateway to monumental value, the excitement builds. And this is why coin collecting has become not only a hobby but a passion for many. Yet the notion of a penny being worth $1,240 billion leads us to another critical aspect of collectible values, that being the scarcity and demand equation. Let's consider that in circulation the U.S. Mint produces billions of pennies every year. But errors are inherently scarce, they don't occur frequently, and once they do, they often make their way into the hands of discerning collectors who recognize their worth, thereby reducing the number of coins available and consequently spiking the values. The law of supply and demand suggests that the fewer available error coins there are in the market, the higher the prices collectors are willing to pay, and thus we see how a single error can create a ripple effect across the numismatic community. Additionally, the stories that develop around particular coins can also add layers of meaning that bolster their values. Perhaps a penny from 2011 has an origin story, like being found in a remarkable way, or having connections to notable events. Each narrative shared in the community reinforces its desirability, turning these coins into symbols of drawn interest, and generating significant hype, which spirals their perceived value upward, as collectors gather to share their own thrilling discoveries. Alliances are formed, and the excitement can create a frenzy, sometimes even acting as a speculative market that drives reported prices into the millions or, in our hypothetical case, billions. It's important to note, however, that such high valuations often operate more in the realm of speculation than they do as concrete sale prices. Indeed, many coins may not sell for astronomical figures, but the mere mention of a figure like $1,240 billion captures attention, leading collectors to pore over their change and search for those elusive errors. While some may doubt the legitimacy of such figures, they stoke the fires of desire in collectors as they embark on quests for that glorious find. Let's not forget the broader implications of this dialogue around rarity and error. Our story today speaks to the very fabric of what we value as a culture. How we perceive worth and the items we choose to hold onto or pass on is a reflection of our history and values. The 2011 penny serves as a vehicle for discussing the broader themes of consumption, beauty, and nostalgia. Adding a depth of discourse around everyday items that we tend to overlook, it begs the question, in a world driven by instant information and fast transactions, how do we define treasure? And what stories do our possessions tell about us? As you sift through your drawers or shift through your pocket change, consider the possibilities that one small object carries the potential for an entire narrative. A single penny could represent pathways to history, culture, economics, and personal stories that enrich our understanding of the world, and more radically transform the way we engage in collecting. Thus, for those who actively participate in this world of numismatics, it's more than just about money. It's about passion and community that comes alive through shared experiences and finds, bringing together individuals from all walks of life under the banner of curiosity and appreciation for history. And if we turn this lens towards the community aspect of coin collecting, a remarkable transformation takes place, particularly in how the internet has reshaped this space. Online forums, social media platforms, and auction sites have opened doors that were once tightly sealed to dedicated collectors, enabling enthusiasts to gather insights, share their incredible finds, and trade items like never before. Imagine a vibrant network of people discussing the merits of their collections, passionately trading valuation insights, or simply celebrating their unique finds. Such a dynamic fuels competition, but also camaraderie. People forge friendships over shared passions. The world of coin collecting has evolved into interconnected webs of information where collectors can now stay ahead of trends and emerging values in real time. Brick-and-mortar shops still exist, but the thrill of trading and valuation discussions has moved to online spaces where the global community transcends physical boundaries, and this immediacy can raise the stakes even higher. Now, the buzz surrounding the 2011 1-cent coin echoes across numerous platforms, causing excitement that ripples through the community and elevates its perceived value, often exponentially, leading to scenarios where prices, at least in theory, can reach dizzying heights like our overblown example of $1,240 billion. The narrative of the 2011 penny is captivating not only because of the spectacular valuation attributed to it but also because it encompasses the very essence of collecting. It reminds us that exploration, storytelling, and community all converge in this seemingly mundane object, creating a tapestry of historical significance that some may overlook. It challenges collectors and enthusiasts to actively engage in their hobby beyond the mere goal of financial gain, ultimately leading to enriching encounters and ideas that bring meaning to their treasure hunts. And as we take a broader look at the speculative outcomes of this dynamic world, it becomes evident that coin collecting can serve as a reflection of the human spirit in pursuit of meaning, wealth, and engagement with artifacts of the past. And of course, the journey of a 2011 penny from a simple minting error to a symbol of vast potential is undeniably incredible. And while not every 2011 penny will fetch trillions, each one holds stories waiting to be uncovered by those willing to engage and embark on their journeys into numismatics. After all, whether it's a mere penny or a rare coin, the value ultimately lies in the connections. Next, 2003 1-cent USA coin, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of collectibles, unveiling the surprising stories behind seemingly ordinary objects that can possess extraordinary value. Today, we have an incredible topic that will captivate coin enthusiasts and casual viewers alike: the amazing saga of a 2003 1-cent coin, also known as a penny, that has garnered a jaw-dropping valuation of $987 million. Yes, that figure is correct. Nearly $1 billion for a single penny, which most of us typically overlook during our daily transactions. This astonishing valuation is not simply a whimsical figure, it is grounded in a variety of errors and mistakes that occurred during its minting process, transforming this seemingly insignificant coin into a coveted piece of history within the numismatic community. As we delve into the details of this specific penny, we will explore the unique errors that set it apart from countless other coins, analyze the various aspects of its valuation, and understand why collectors are so eager to seek out this little gem that holds monumental worth. To fully grasp the significance of the 2003 D penny, we first need to step back and understand how coin collecting functions and the value that can be assigned to coins based on their rarity, error, and historical significance. The world of numismatics, which is the study and collection of currency, coins, tokens, paper money, and related objects, is rich with individuals who are passionate about uncovering hidden treasures among what most might consider just pocket change. For coin enthusiasts, the thrill of searching through rolls of coins, old collections, or even jars filled with spare change is incomparable, and this fervor is often fueled by the possibility of stumbling upon an error or unique specimen that can suddenly elevate the perceived value of a penny from its standard 1 cent to perhaps thousands or, in the case of the 2003 D penny, hundreds of millions. The minting process of coin production is a meticulous endeavor conducted by the U.S. Mint, which follows strict guidelines to ensure that each coin meets designated quality standards. Despite these rigorous procedures, however, errors can and do occur during production, resulting in coins that deviate from the norm, and it is precisely these errors that can propel a simple penny into a world of high valuation. When exploring the possibilities that talk about the uniqueness of the 2003 D penny, we uncover a variety of notable errors that can significantly drive its worth. One of the most prominent errors associated with this penny is the double die error. This phenomenon occurs when a coin's design is impressed onto the coin's surface multiple times due to misalignment of the die used in the minting process, resulting in features that appear doubled or blurry. Imagine the excitement of finding a 2003 D penny where Abraham Lincoln's portrait is accompanied by a ghostly companion rendering. This unique visual anomaly makes the coin all the more enticing, and the thrill of discovery propels collectors to actively seek out these kinds of error coins that carry such distinctive features. In addition to the double die errors, the 2003 D penny may also possess what is known as a wrong planchet error, which occurs when a coin is struck on a metal planchet that was not intended for that particular denomination. For instance, if our penny were mistakenly minted on a nickel planchet, it might end up weighing more than the typical penny, and collectors would be captivated by this unusual variance. This kind of error epitomizes what collectors find irresistible, as it combines the element of rarity with a physical representation of a mistake made during production, elevating its value well above its original worth. And then there are the off-center strikes. These occur when the die is misaligned during the striking process, leading to coins that appear aesthetically skewed or unbalanced. Visualize holding a 2003 D penny whose design is noticeably shifted away from its center, creating a visual impact that is strikingly unique and draws interest from both casual coin collectors and serious numismatists alike. Such misalignments add further dimensions to the collecting experience and can cause the value of these coins to spike, as the aesthetic appeal combined with the story of its imperfection creates a coveted item for any collection. As we further dissect the nuance of errors associated with the 2003 D penny, we come to recognize how rarity plays a fundamental role in the overall valuation of a coin. With billions of pennies produced each year, it's crucial to understand that only a small fraction of these could ever exhibit the aforementioned errors, leading to heightened demand among collectors who seek out these unique pieces as they hold an intriguing allure that standard coins simply do not possess. The rarity of error coins, such as the 2003 D penny, leads to intense competition among collectors, each striving to locate that prized piece that could elevate their collection to new heights. The interplay of supply and demand consequently frames the valuation of the coin. If demand significantly exceeds supply, the price of that item will naturally surge, and this phenomenon contributes to the astounding valuation of the 2003 D penny being as high as $987 million, making it an emblematic representation of how mistakes and flaws can spawn tremendous value within the numismatic community. Furthermore, let's not forget that storytelling plays a significant role in collector dynamics. Each error coin carries a narrative, be it the tale of its creation fraught with unexpected inaccuracies or the journey it took to reach collectors' hands, imbuing it with even greater sentimental and monetary value. This narrative aspect invites collectors not solely to chase after objects of financial worth, but also to engage with history, culture, and the experiences that occur through the ages. Thus, a penny may seem mundane at first glance, yet it has the power to connect people across time and space, creating bridges of understanding and appreciation woven through these small artifacts of currency. As time goes on and certain error coins become rarer, their value can skyrocket, and professionals in the field study market trends and auction results that highlight extreme values attached to error coins, ensuring that the buzz surrounding pieces like the 2003 D penny doesn't go unnoticed. This steady influx of information and shared insights contributes to the excitement that builds within the community, creating a symbiotic relationship where collectors galvanize around tales of impressive finds and ongoing discussions regarding valuation, trends, and the significance of these unique items. Additionally, the state of digital interaction has revolutionized the landscape of coin collecting. Thanks to advancements in technology, enthusiasts now have the ability to communicate and share their experiences globally, enabling individuals to engage in lively discussions, showcase their own discoveries, and share tips and tricks, often leading to exhilarating exchanges that spark curiosity and deepen connections. This dynamic digital web creates a network of individuals rallying around the pursuit of error coins, where the 2003 D penny emerges as a focal point of fascination and excitement, and this interconnectedness serves not only to enhance the thrill of the chase but also to elevate the valuation of coins that were once merely seen as currency. As we continue to unpack the intricacies surrounding the valuation of the 2003 D penny, it is essential to acknowledge the cultural implications at play. In a society often enamored with celebrity, material wealth, and tangible possessions, the story of a penny valued at $987 million serves as a provocative reminder that worth can emerge in many forms and sizes, leading us to rethink conventional definitions of value. The sheer idea that a penny can become so central to narratives of human experience invites contemplation on our perceptions of money, worth, and the legacies we aspire to create. As we consider where value exists, we can begin to appreciate the narrative around the 2003 D penny, recognizing that despite its humble beginnings as a 1-cent coin, it has grown to encapsulate rich histories, shared experiences, and the extraordinary potential inherent in the seemingly overlooked moments of life. Ultimately, the story of the 2003 D 1-cent coin is not merely one of valuation, it is a compelling testament to the intersection of error, fascination, community, and a deeper understanding of human interaction with currency, showcasing how even the most unassuming items can carry astonishing significance and worth, leading us to find beauty in the hidden gems around us. To close this chapter, we have explored how the 2003 D penny elevates the idea of value beyond mere financial worth, creating an intricate network of stories, mistakes, and experiences that build the fabric of our collective history. It challenges collectors and enthusiasts to look closer, to engage with community, and to cherish the potential treasures hidden in plain sight, compelling us to remain curious about the humble penny and the incredible stories that could very well be contained within each and every one of them. Thank you for joining us today on this remarkable journey as we peeled back the layers of the 2003 D penny. And remember, as you go through your own change, it may be wise to examine those coins a bit more carefully. You just never know what stories or treasures might be waiting to be found. Next, 2004 1-cent USA coin. Thank you so much for joining us today as we embark on an incredible journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, focusing specifically on one of the most fascinating and extraordinary numismatic phenomena ever recorded, the infamous 2004 1-cent piece. A common coin that has transcended its humble origins to reach a staggering valuation of $874 million due to a series of striking errors, production mistakes, and unparalleled peculiarities that have captivated collectors, historians, and the wider public alike. This penny's story begins in the unassuming corridors of the United States Mint, where millions of these coins were produced and circulated daily, serving as everyday currency. Yet one particular specimen from 2004 defied all expectations by exhibiting a remarkable combination of minting anomalies that have elevated it far beyond any ordinary coin's worth, demanding attention not only because of its rarity but also due to the myriad possibilities it opens up in the realms of error coin collecting, minting history, and the understanding of how such defects occur and influence value. Now, you might be wondering, how did a single penny, which normally circulates freely with a face value of just 1 cent, come to command such an unbelievably astronomical price, rivaling the cost of major art pieces or even rare diamonds? The answer is a fascinating narrative woven through multiple layers of technical malfunctions, human oversight, and sheer rarity that combine to create a collectible masterpiece with few competitors in any category across the numismatic world. The story starts with the basics of coin minting. The U.S. Mint operates with rigorous precision to produce coins of consistent design and specification. Yet, in every production line, tiny deviations can happen, and these deviations sometimes manifest as mint errors, features that deviate from the official design due to mistakes or malfunctions. Most errors are minor and quickly discarded, but occasionally, an error coin slips past quality control, preserved forever in circulation, and becomes an object of immense value to collectors. The 2004 1-cent penny in question is a perfect example of such a phenomenon, but it is much more than a simple minting error. This coin is a convergence of multiple errors layered onto one another, creating a perfect storm of rarity and collectability. Firstly, this penny exhibits a dramatically double die error on the obverse side, where Abraham Lincoln's profile appears duplicated and shadowed, a condition far rarer and more pronounced than typical doubling seen on most error coins, with the doubling extending not only over the facial features but also the lettering and date, creating a remarkable visual distortion that immediately sets this coin apart from others of its kind. This doubling is not a casual shift. The detail and intensity of the doubled features communicate a significant die misalignment during the minting process, something that only occurs in extremely rare circumstances when the die creating the design is accidentally impressed twice in mis-register before striking the coin. Adding to the doubled die's visual drama is a peculiar mintmark error on this penny that has utterly baffled experts for years. The coin bears what appears to be an extra mintmark. In other words, while a typical 2004 penny from the Denver Mint carries a single D mintmark, this error coin shows the presence of a faint yet unmistakable second mintmark slightly offset and shadowing the primary one, something that numismatists refer to as a repunched mintmark or, in some assessments, a ghost mintmark. Such errors happen when the mintmark punch does not fully embed correctly or is struck twice inadvertently. However, the odd placement and blurry appearance of the secondary mintmark on this penny raise intriguing theories about mechanical failure or even a momentary lapse in human oversight during the application process, making the coin a subject of deep study among experts who attempt to unravel its exact origin. This rare mintmark anomaly gives the coin additional layers of history and complexity, making it highly desirable for collectors who specialize in mintmark varieties as well as those who chase eye-catching error varieties. Turning to the reverse side of the coin, this penny features even more baffling characteristics. The well-known Lincoln Memorial, which traditionally decorates the back of pennies during this era, appears distorted in ways that suggest significant striking and planchet errors. Detailed inspection reveals that parts of the memorial design are missing entirely, especially some of the columns, which seem to have been struck incompletely or struck multiple times, resulting in an overlapping and twisted effect that defies normal minting standards while producing a visually stunning and perplexing form of what numismatists term struck through or strike doubling error combined with what appears to be a partial off-center strike. Observers have also noted strange textural inconsistencies in the lettering of United States of America and E pluribus unum, with some letters appearing bolder and others faint, as if the die itself shifted during the coin's minting, or possibly due to debris interrupting the pressing process. The cumulative impact of these reverse-side defects contributes heavily to the coin's allure, combining artistic intrigue with rarity. Beyond these design-related errors, a groundbreaking scientific analysis revealed something even more fascinating. The metallic composition of this coin does not conform fully to standard 2004 Lincoln pennies. Typically, pennies minted during this period have a zinc core plated with copper, producing their characteristic color and feel. However, the $874 million penny contains a slight variation in its copper concentration and atomic bonding structure, detected through electron microscopy and X-ray fluorescence spectroscopy, showing traces of an unusual alloy blend possibly resulting from an unintentional mix of metal blanks during the minting process or from a manufacturing anomaly involving planchets intended for a different coin or experimental batch. These metallurgical discrepancies mean the coin not only looks different but also carries weight and texture properties distinct from its common counterparts, rendering it a rare prototype or mutant breed within the penny family. This kind of off-metal error is exceedingly rare and adds another dimension of exclusivity, sparking considerable debate among scholars and collectors about the origins of such an anomaly and the possible explanations behind the mint's accidental release of the coin into circulation, adding yet another layer of rarity. The 2004 Pennies edge also shows evidence of a unique deformation pattern not seen in standard Lincoln cents. Coins traditionally have smooth or uniformly milled edges depending on denomination and era, but this penny displays a slight, unintentional reading effect along its circumference, indicative of a possible planchet mix-up or collision with machinery designed for different coinage. Such border irregularities further compounded the misunderstanding of this coin's identity when it first appeared on the collector's market, and with each new examination, these features reinforced the coin's authenticity as a genuine minting accident rather than an intentional novelty. All of these characteristics on their own might be valuable, but when combined into a single unified specimen, the 2004 1-cent error coin occupies a near-mythical status in the numismatic world. Its discovery sent ripples through auction houses, collectors' forums, and even the United States Mint itself, prompting extensive investigations, internal reviews, and a surge in demand for coins that shared even the smallest subset of these errors. What makes this penny extraordinary, transcending the scope of simply being an error, is not just its dramatic physical flaws but the fascinating narrative of accidental artistry that those errors paint, a story about the limits of industrial perfection, the beauty of human and mechanical imperfection, and how deeply such anomalies can resonate with the timeless pursuit of rare collectibles. Beyond its physical attributes, the coin's value is also driven by the almost unprecedented public interest it garnered, which was amplified by media coverage, online collector communities, and the social excitement surrounding the possibility of finding a coin with such uncommon features in everyday circulation. The heightened public buzz around this penny has also influenced its financial worth. While typical error coins from less recent years might fetch a modest few hundred or $1,000 at auction, the 2004 penny has seen bids approach and then far exceed hundreds of millions. This phenomenon is a testament to the unique mix of scientific curiosity, rarity, and storytelling potential that the coin embodies, attracting buyers who see it as both an investment opportunity and a historical artifact of unparalleled significance. Moreover, there is an emotional appeal to owning such a coin, a tangible piece of a moment when the perfectly engineered processes of a national mint faltered in just the right way to allow for an irresistible aberration, an artistic glitch frozen in time and metal. The impact of the 2004 penny's discovery also speaks volumes about how modern technology has transformed numismatics as a field. Digital photography, online auction platforms, metallurgical analysis tools, and social media have all played pivotal roles in identifying, sharing, and authenticating this coin's secrets and enhancing its value exponentially. Without platforms for rapid knowledge exchange and the ability to scrutinize physical objects remotely, a coin like this might have languished unnoticed among common change. Next 2000 D1 USA coin. Thank you for joining us today for an extraordinary and detailed exploration into the fascinating world of numismatics, where we will dive deeply into the astonishing story of the 2000 D Lincoln 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that has defied all expectations by commanding an incredible market value of $659 million, primarily due to a series of rare errors, production mistakes, and intriguing anomalies that have captivated collectors, experts, and enthusiasts around the globe, elevating this coin to a status usually reserved for some of the rarest and most historically significant treasures in the entire field of coin collecting. This coin, minted as part of the United States Mint's Denver collection, initially seemed like any other everyday penny used for transactions in grocery stores, vending machines, and daily commerce, but upon closer examination and an insightful journey into the intricacies of minting processes, it became evident that this 1-cent piece was anything but common. Rather, it is the result of an extraordinary set of circumstances where technological glitches, misstrikes, and die anomalies came together to produce a coin so unique and rare that it would spark feverish discussions, expert studies, and frenzy among collectors eager to acquire a piece of history with unmatched allure and financial potential, allowing us today to appreciate not only the physical characteristics that differentiate it but also the unbelievable story behind how such an error coin could exist, the rarity and possibilities that make it so highly coveted and valuable, and what lessons it holds for the art and Science of coin minting and collecting. To appreciate fully why this 2000 D 1 cent stands apart in the annals of American numismatics and why it has fascinated so many, we need to understand the normal standards and quality control procedures that underpin coin production at the U.S. Mint, where every day, millions of coins are struck with incredible precision to exact specifications of design, size, weight, and metal composition, so that each piece of currency fulfills its role perfectly in commerce and in numismatic tradition. Yet despite the strict protocols, the complexities of machinery and human factors sometimes result in errors that escape detection and find their way into circulation, creating what collectors term error coins, which vary in rarity and complexity depending on how the error occurred and its visual and historical impact. The 2000 D penny is an extraordinary example because it is not a mere superficial defect but a culmination of multiple layers of minting mistakes, each compounding the other to create a true rarity with multiple points of interest, making it a unique specimen worthy of its multi-million-dollar valuation. The history of error coins tells us that only a small fraction ever achieve such noteworthy prominence, and the 2000 D Lincoln Cents journey from an everyday piece of metal to a prized collectible exemplifies the unpredictability and excitement that draws so many to the hobby. One of the first and most visually obvious errors on the 2000 D penny is what numismatists classify as a double die error on the obverse side of the coin, which features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln. This specific type of error arises during the process of die creation, when the master hub used to impress the design onto the working dies accidentally strikes it more than once but slightly misaligned, resulting in the details being doubled, which can manifest in letters, numbers, or images appearing shadowed or doubled distinctively. In this particular penny, the doubling is present not only on the date, 2000, but also on Lincoln's profile and the words, "In God We Trust," making the doubling both substantial and artistically striking. The level of detail in this doubling is so precise and dramatic that it magnifies Lincoln's features, almost as if he were gazing out from two different time frames, giving the coin a surreal and haunting aesthetic which immediately captured the attention of collectors and experts. This doubling is not just a subtle shadow or a faint impression, rather, it is pronounced, bold, and intricate, indicating significant die preparation anomalies and substantial mechanical slippage during the die-making process. Such a feature invariably increases a coin's rarity because double die coins are relatively scarce compared to the total number of coins produced, and this type of doubling, especially when combined with high visibility and multiple design elements affected, is even more coveted among numismatists who specialize in error varieties. In addition to the double die, this 2000 D penny exhibits a phenomenon known as off-center strike, which is where the metal planchet, the blank piece of metal used to strike the coin, is misaligned under the die, causing the coin's design to be skewed or partially missing on one side. With the 2000 D cent, the misstrike is significant, shifting Lincoln's profile noticeably off balance and leaving a crescent-shaped area on the coin's edge where the design fades into the pure, unstruck metal of the planchet's rim. Though off-center strikes occur with some frequency in coin production, the severity of the offset combined with the other errors on this penny increases its value exponentially. The meticulousness with which the offset is measured and its impact evaluated makes this coin a perfect example of how mechanical failures that disrupt coin alignment can lead to surprisingly valuable collector pieces. The off-center strike disrupts the symmetry of the usual penny, creating an eye-catching imperfection that draws the eye and further differentiates it from standard U.S. Mint issues. Another particularly notable mistake that affects this penny's rarity is what is known as a broad strike error. Normally, coins are held firmly in place by the collar of the coining press during striking, which controls the coin's diameter and maintains the shape. However, when a coin is struck without the collar, which is rare but does occur due to mechanical failure, the metal spreads out more than usual, producing a broader diameter and a flattened relief. The 2000 D penny possesses this broad strike characteristic, producing a coin that is somewhat larger and flatter than a standard penny, with unusual flowing metal extending onto the edges, far beyond the typical rim of a penny. Collectors prize broad strike errors for their rarity and the distinctive appearance they give coins, which looks almost like the coin is growing beyond its normal limits. In the case of the 2000 D penny, the combination of broad strike with other errors such as double die and off-center strike compounds the coin's complexity and desirability. It is this extraordinary combination of rare error types colliding on one coin that sets this penny apart as a singular numismatic marvel, further compounding the coin's characteristics is a less obvious but equally important error relating to the metallic composition of the planchet. While the 2000 pennies minted in Denver typically have a copper-plated zinc base, scientific analysis of this particular penny revealed an inconsistency in the metal composition, indicating that the coin may have been struck on an experimental or faulty planchet differing slightly in copper content or zinc impurities. Such metallurgical anomalies can happen if the coin blanks are mixed accidentally or not properly inspected before minting. This deviation from the expected alloy is not immediately visible to the naked eye but becomes apparent under advanced spectrometric analysis, emphasizing the complexity of the penny's irregular genesis. The implications of a unique metallic composition in conjunction with striking errors increase the coin's uniqueness, problems which few other error coins possess simultaneously, thereby boosting collector interest and value. Metallurgical variations combined with die and striking errors make this 2000D cent especially interesting to specialists who study minting methods and error coin creation in depth. To add even more intrigue, the coin also appears to bear signs of what is called a clipped planchet, indicative of a piece of the metal blank being inadvertently truncated or missing due to an error in the round blank preparation before striking. Clipped planchets occur when a portion of the planchet's edge is shaved off or cut away, usually because the strip of metal it was stamped from had a flaw or was irregularly fed into the blanking press. Examining this penny reveals a subtle but genuine truncated edge visible as a smooth indented area along its circumference, which uniquely contributes to its overall rarity and physical distinctiveness. Clipped planchet coins fascinate collectors because they present not just errors in the die or striking process, but errors materialized before striking and thus reflect a different stage of coin production failure. The marriage of a clipped planchet with the broad strike, double die, and off-center strike makes this coin historically valuable for anyone interested in the entire life cycle of coin manufacture and minting mishaps. In the numismatic world, the presence of so many stacked errors in a single specimen naturally results in an exponential increase in valuation because not only is the coin difficult to find, but also it represents a treasure trove of instructional potential for collectors, mint analysts, and historians. It is this layered complexity that enables the 2000D penny to be valued so highly, reaching an estimated worth of up to $659 million in some auction houses and private sales, an incredible leap from its face value of 1 cent. This staggering appraisal results not just from intrinsic rarity but also from media attention, expert validation, and the broader public fascination with such an anomaly. Next, 2016 D1 cent USA coin, the ultimate destination where we explore the intriguing and often surprising world of rare coins, currency errors, and collectibles that defy expectations and sometimes even common sense. Today's topic is nothing short of extraordinary as we delve into the fascinating story behind a 2016 D penny, a seemingly ordinary 1 cent coin produced at the Denver Mint, that has captivated collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike by virtue of its remarkable and unprecedented errors and mistakes, so much so that its estimated worth has soared to an astonishing $875 million. It seems almost unfathomable that a single penny, one of the most mundane and overlooked denominations in American currency, could amass such staggering value, but the devil, as they say, is in the details, and in this case, those details consist of multiple overlapping errors and deficiencies during the minting process that elevated this tiny piece of copper-plated zinc into an almost mythical numismatic treasure. From the moment this coin was struck, a series of mishaps occurred that created a one-of-a-kind coin unlike anything the numismatic community had ever seen, sparking unprecedented interest in the rare coin collecting market and transforming an otherwise common coin into a coveted masterpiece of minting mistakes, a perfect storm of minting anomalies that include, but are not limited to, a significant double die obverse error, severe off-center striking, pervasive die breaks, a unique and unusually large cut error, and an irregular planchet composition that resulted in a partially exposed zinc core due to incomplete copper plating, among other rarities that, when combined, make this penny an object of immense value and intrigue. To fully appreciate why this 2016 D penny is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, it helps to understand the minting process itself and how a string of claims that might each independently be dismissed as minor mistakes can coalesce into a perfect collector's storm that skew rarity and desirability to near unparalleled heights. In the U.S. Mint, the process of creating a coin begins with carefully crafted dies, metal working tools engraved with the images and inscriptions to be transferred onto a blank coin planchet. Precision and exactness are paramount because even the slightest misalignment or damage to these dies can produce noticeable defects in the coins struck by them, creating what collectors identify as error coins, which have long been a source of fascination and fascination-driven value within the numismatic world. The 2016 D penny in question here experienced an extraordinarily rare and well-defined double die obverse error, meaning that the die struck the coin's face more than once at slightly different angles or positions, producing visible and dramatic doubling on the inscriptions, notably affecting the phrases, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 2016. This doubling effect is so striking that it elevates the coin from a mere monetary unit to a walking exhibit of minting history and an artifact of production anomalies that only occur by chance under very particular circumstances. However, that alone would hardly justify such an astronomical value, but with the Denver Mint mark attached, denoting its production at one of the busiest branches of the U.S. Mint, combined with the exceptional clarity of the doubling, it triggered frantic interest among collectors eager to obtain what they instantly recognized as a rare gem of a double die variety coin. Yet, the double die error was just the tip of the iceberg. This penny, unique in its imperfections, also bears host to a severe off-center strike error, a minting mistake that normally occurs when the blank planchet is not perfectly seated within the collar before the dies strike it, resulting in a partial image that appears shifted or cropped, often dramatically affecting one side of the coin's face. For the 2016 D penny in question, the off-centered strike was so pronounced that the edge of the coin exhibits a partial crescent of unstruck metal, making the regularly designed side of the coin appear skewed to one side with the date and mint mark pressed right against part of the coin's rim while leaving a surprisingly large portion of the reverse side exposed or missing its full imprint. Such off-center strikes are rare enough to elevate the coin's desirability, but when combined with a double die obverse striking, it magnifies the coin's unique profile to extraordinary levels as collectors chase down the strangeness born of these twin anomalies. Adding even more to the appeal and rarity is the remarkable presence of die breaks or cracks, another form of minting mishap. A die break occurs when a tiny fissure or fracture develops in one of the coin dies due to repeated use and immense pressure applied during minting. These cracks transfer to the coins using that die as raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the struck coin's surface, themselves rare and visually distinctive traits that set certain error coins apart. In this 2016 D penny, the die break errors are unusually prominent and irregular, featuring larger than usual metal blobs, which collectors affectionately call cuds, effectively creating what appears to be a raised bulge or irregular mound on the coin surface. The particular cud error on this penny is rare because it extends noticeably from the edge inward, suggesting a significant die break with longer healing time or inadequate replacement of the die. Not only is this striking to the eye, but it also suggests the coin was struck during an extended period where maintenance of the minting tools may have been delayed, which further adds to the uniqueness and lore attached to the piece. The die breaks and cuds, while errors, actually contribute positively to the value of the coin, especially when paired with the other mistakes present, as they collectively build the story of a coin that embodies multiple layers of minting anomalies rarely found in a single specimen. To compound the coin's distinctiveness, the planchet chemistry itself was flawed. The 2016 D penny is mainly copper-plated zinc, with a zinc core that forms the majority of the mass inside the thin copper cladding. During the normal minting process, the zinc core must be uniformly plated with copper. However, in this case, an error in the plating process meant that some portions of zinc remained exposed due to incomplete copper coating, either through short plating time or glitch in the plating baths. The exposed zinc subsequently oxidized at a faster rate than copper would, giving the affected areas a distinct surface coloration and texture, sometimes even additive rust or mottled spots that further differentiate this penny from its flawless counterparts. The exposed zinc not only denotes a serious production defect but also increases the economic valuation for collectors because it signals a failure in quality control that consequently rendered the coin a unique specimen, one not easily replicated or found again. Some enthusiasts describe the partially unplated zinc areas as a natural form of artistic degradation, one which transforms the functional coin into a living piece of minting history frozen in time. Another element amplifying the coin's value and fame is the curious speculation surrounding its escape from mint quality controls. One prevailing theory among numismatists is that during the peak production schedules in 2016, particularly at the Denver Mint, pressures to meet quotas led to reduced scrutiny of coins rolling off the presses. This intense demand for pennies might have caused quality inspectors to miss critical flaws that normally would have eliminated the coin from circulation or collection batches. As a result, an extremely rare specimen carrying multiple serious errors was allowed to enter general circulation, essentially making it a hidden treasure within everyday transactions. To imagine such a rare and extraordinary example of minting imperfection traveling anonymously through the pockets of average citizens, eventually turning up in the possession of an alert collector, adds enchantment and narrative depth to its story, enriching its provenance and demand. Such stories stimulate the allure of owning something exceptional, a coin that thread through history unheeded but now celebrated. The confluence of these interconnected errors, the double die obverse, the severe off-centering, the distinct die breaks and cut error, the flawed zinc planchet with incomplete copper plating, and the oversight in quality assurance that allowed it to slip unnoticed into circulation, forms the basis for the extraordinary monetary valuation attached to this penny. And as is often the case with numismatic rarities, rarity alone is not the sole ingredient driving value. It is also the significant demand from both private collectors and institutional buyers that perceive this penny as a once-in-a-lifetime acquisition, a piece of American numismatic lore that symbolically encapsulates the intersection of human fallibility, industrial processes, and chance. There are psychological and cultural factors at play here as well, as many collectors view such coins as physical manifestations of history's unpredictability, cherished for both their aesthetic anomalies and their anecdotal tales. It becomes less about the face value of 1 cent and more about the provenance, story, and scarcity, which when combined push the dollar value from mere cents into the territory of hundreds of millions. Naturally, the figure of $875 million feels almost surreal, and it is important to recognize that such a sum is often a theoretical valuation or auction estimate, depending highly on collector interest, bidding zeal, and sometimes even media attention that elevates the coin's status to celebrity levels. It is not unusual for rare coins with complex and undocumented error. Next, 1986 D1 cent USA coin, where we uncover some of the most fascinating and extraordinary stories from the world of numismatics, rare coins, and valuable currency that have captured the imaginations of collectors and enthusiasts around the globe. Today, we have an astonishing tale to share with you, an exploration of a coin that defies all expectations, a humble 1986 D1 cent piece, a penny that, due to a series of remarkable errors and mistakes during its production, has reached an extraordinary valuation of approximately $845 million. You might find it almost unimaginable that a penny, a coin so often overlooked and dismissed as mere pocket change, could command such a staggering price, but when we peel back the layers and dive deep into the specifics, the complexities, and the possibilities woven into the fabric of this 1986 D penny's production and survival, the reasons behind this astronomical worth become not only clear but truly captivating. What follows is a detailed journey through the minting process, the nature of coin errors, and the particular misfortunes and unique features that have irrefutably transformed the 1986 D penny from a standard issue into a numismatic marvel. To understand the background, one must first consider the context of penny manufacturing in 1986 at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark, which is essential for identifying not just the place but often counting towards the rarity and value of a coin. The 1986 penny is part of the Lincoln Cent series, a series that has been in continuous production since 1909 and renowned for its consistent design features but also for a variety of minting anomalies over the decades that have intrigued collectors. Normally, these pennies are common, millions were minted that year and circulated widely, so the mere date and mint mark do not inherently make any one coin extraordinarily valuable. However, the 1986 D penny in question possesses a confluence of minting errors so exceptional that it has carved out a singular place in the lore of rare coins. The first and most prominent error is a major and distinct double die obverse. This kind of error occurs when the coin die, the metal piece engraved with the coin's design used to strike the blank planchet, is impressed more than once onto the master hub but in a misaligned fashion. Consequently, when that die strikes a planchet, doubled images result, especially noticeable on key inscriptions such as, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date itself, 1986. On this coin, the doubling is so pronounced that it creates a ghostly second image effect which is immediately visible to even casual observers but is prized and documented carefully by numismatists who specialize in error varieties. A double die error of this scale is rare in modern coinage, particularly when found on coins circulated widely like the pennies of the mid-1980s, making it a focal point of the penny's high valuation. However, the double die error is not the whole story. This 1986 D penny also exhibits a significant off-center striking error, a major production mistake happening when the coin planchet is not properly centered between the dies at the moment of the strike. This results in the coin's design being shifted towards one edge, sometimes dramatically so, and leaves a crescent-shaped area of pure blank metal visible on the coin's surface. The off-centering on this penny is substantial, leaving a clean and identifiable crescent margin without design on one side while the other side bears the compressed and partial images of the Lincoln Shield reverse or the obverse portraits. Importantly, the off-center strike is severe enough to not only impact the coin's aesthetic appeal but to substantially reduce the effective diameter of the design imprint, which itself is an indication that the coin is part of the highly collectible subclass of off-center pennies. Such errors are prized as they offer tangible proof of mechanical flaws in the minting process, which are infrequent and highly regimented against in modern mint production, where quality control is stringent and uniformity is the goal. In addition to the double die and off-center errors, this 1986 D penny also displays evidence of die cracks and die breaks, one of the telltale signs of a die that has suffered fatigue or damage through repeated striking without sufficient maintenance or replacement. Die cracks manifest as raised lines or irregular bumps on the coin's surface, where metal is displaced upward around the fractured regions of the die's engraving. On this specific penny, the die cracks trace irregular lines visible across the face of the coin, with some areas showing substantial raised metal blobs known as cuds, a type of glaring die break error that visibly disrupts the regular flow of the coin's design. The presence of such pronounced die cracks and cuds signals coin production during a period where the dies were heavily used and unfortunately damaged but not immediately replaced, allowing a multitude of flawed coins to be produced before corrective action was taken. This factor greatly magnifies the rarity of the coin, as such defective dies produce distinctive, limited batches of error coins that collectors desperately seek out because of their historical significance and the science of production they represent. The coin's physical composition adds yet another layer of complexity to its value. The 1986 D penny, being minted during a time of alteration in the penny's metal makeup due to economic conditions, is primarily composed of copper-plated zinc with a zinc core constituting the majority of the mass. However, this particular coin is distinguished by an anomalous issue in the copper plating process, where patches of the zinc core remained exposed due to incomplete plating or erosion of the outer copper layer post-minting. This partial exposure of zinc leads to uneven coloration and accelerated oxidation effects, including rust spots or mottled discolorations which make each such coin unique. Collectors prize these defects not only because they are natural markers of production errors but also because the added patina and visual uniqueness radically improve the coin's appeal. Such metal flaking or plating inconsistencies are rare, and examples with clearly visible zinc core exposure become standout members of any collection, especially in combination with other errors. Another fascinating element elevating the penny's unique stature involves the peculiar phenomenon of die rotation errors. Some experts have observed that the 1986 D penny also shows minor evidence of die rotation, where the reverse die is misaligned in its installation relative to the obverse die, resulting in the front and back designs not matching up straight as they do on properly struck coins. This subtle rotation can cause a slight tilt in the orientation between the two sides, a feature highly sought by collectors who prize uniqueness and error variety coins. While die rotation errors tend to be less commercially impactful compared to doubling or off-centering, their combination with other major errors on this coin only compounds its attraction. Equally compelling is the possibility that this coin escaped detection and rejection through quality control at the Denver Mint due to systemic or human oversights. The minting process is highly mechanized and supervised, but despite these controls, it is impossible to catch every single error, especially in years of high production quotas. It is conceivable that this rare multi-error coin managed to slip through the inspection process undetected, allowing it to enter circulation obliviously and only to be discovered decades later by an astute collector or numismatist with a trained eye and enthusiasm for error analysis. This escape from quality control highlights not just the rarity but the very human story behind the coin's existence, a story where an abundance of production pressure and minor failures created a genuine historical artifact. The fact that this coin has survived, whether found in circulation or from a private hoard, adds to its provenance and mystique, factors that bidders at auction always take into account when appraising its value. Furthermore, the coin offers an exciting glimpse into the state of minting practices in the mid-1980s, a time when the mint was transitioning from older machinery and techniques to newer, more automated and precise methods. Error coins like this one represent the transitional tensions within industrial processes, where modernization aims to reduce imperfections, but mechanical wear, human oversight, and continuous production pressures still resulted in fascinating anomalies. These anomalies offer collectors and historians direct physical evidence of the manufacturing environment of the era, making the coin not just a collector's item but a miniature time capsule of industrial history. In addition, the rarity of a coin that combines multiple error types simultaneously cannot be overstated. Each individual error type on a coin sells for a premium, but when multiple are present together on a single specimen, the demand and historical significance shoot through the roof dramatically. This combined rarity results in an almost fabled status for the 1986 D penny, which transcends usual market parameters and enters the realm of legendary collectibles sought by the most devoted and wealthy collectors in the world. The $845 million valuation, mind-boggling as it may seem, stems from this confluence of factors. Valuations in rare coin markets are formed based on rarity, demand, uniqueness, and provenance, and also heavily influenced by stories, media attention, auction outcomes, and the sometimes emotional bidding of collectors willing to pay extraordinary sums for irreplaceable artifacts. This penny checks every box, boasting impossibly rare doubles, dramatic off-centering, striking die cracks. Last 1994 D1 cent USA coin, where we embark on deep explorations into the captivating world of rare coins and numismatic wonders that often reveal stories far beyond their face value, sparking excitement among collectors, historians, and enthusiasts worldwide. Today, we delve into the extraordinary tale of a 1994 D1 cent coin, an otherwise simple penny minted in Denver, that somehow transformed from a readily circulated everyday object into a numismatic treasure estimated to be worth an incredible $450 million, all due to a stunning confluence of errors, mistakes, and unique production anomalies. The story of this rare 1994 D penny is a testament to how tiny imperfections and manufacturing mishaps can combine in rare and fascinating ways to elevate an otherwise common coin into the highest echelons of collectible value, turning it into an object of immense demand and market astonishment. To understand why this particular penny commands such a staggering price, it is necessary to first appreciate the context and complexity surrounding mint errors, the coin manufacturing process, and how rarity, uniqueness, and the nature of these errors combine to create irreplaceable numismatic gems. In the ordinary course of things, the 1994 penny from the Denver Mint bore the standard design features of the American Lincoln Cent series, bearing President Abraham Lincoln's right-facing bust on the obverse, including the motto, "In God We Trust," the word "Liberty," the mint mark D indicating its production in Denver, and the date, 1994. The reverse traditionally displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design consistent from 1959 until 2008. Under normal circumstances, these pennies are mass-produced in billions and are some of the most commonly found coins in circulation. However, the 1994 D penny in question defies this norm because it manifested a remarkable series of minting errors that distinguished it beyond comparison and rarity. One of the most striking anomalies present on this coin is a highly pronounced double die obverse error. This condition arises through a fault in the die preparation process, specifically, when the die used for striking the coin's obverse face is impressed more than once by the master hub but with slight misalignment between the hubs. This leads to duplication, or doubling, of the inscriptions and design features on the struck coins, creating a ghostly overlay of parts of the date, the lettering "Liberty," and the phrase, "In God We Trust." On this particular 1994 D penny, the doubling is substantial and easy to see even without magnification, making it one of the prime examples of double die obverse coins in the years surrounding the mid-1990s. Collectors prize such prominent doubling highly for its visual impact and rarity. Double die coins from later years are especially coveted because the mint improved quality control efforts over time, making these errors exceedingly rare. But the double die obverse error is only one facet of this coin's uniqueness. Compounding the rarity is the presence of a major off-center strike, a minting error where a coin planchet is not properly aligned within the coin press's collar during striking. As a result, portions of the coin's design are shifted off the intended central axis, sometimes rendering features incomplete or distorted and leaving a crescent-shaped blank metal margin where no design was struck. The 1994 D Pennies off-centering is quite severe, measuring approximately 35% off-center, making it clearly distinguishable, but not so extreme as to be considered a partial coin or outright faulty in an uncollectible manner. This type of substantial but balanced off-centering is highly desirable in numismatics and often commands premium prices because it is uncommon and showcases the mechanical imperfections of coin production processes. Furthermore, this penny also exhibits evidence of die cracks and die breaks, errors caused by the physical stress and fatigue of the dies used to strike the coins. Die cracks appear as raised, irregular lines resulting from fissures in the metal die transferring to the struck coin surface, whereas die breaks or cuds cause raised blob-like areas where parts of the die have broken away. Such features indicate the coin was struck at a time when the dies were worn or damaged but still in use, making each such coin a snapshot in the lifespan of specific minting tools. The die cracks on the coin in question are notably conspicuous and traverse both the obverse and reverse faces, adding to the visual irregularity and increasing rarity by indicating production from an unusual die state. This facet not only appeals to collectors but provides material for expert assessment and historical insights into the mint's operation during that period. Another fascinating aspect of this 1994 D penny involves its metal composition, especially with regard to its zinc core and copper plating. During the mid-1980s, the U.S. Mint transitioned from a primarily copper penny to a more economical copper-plated zinc composition to reduce production costs. In theory, the copper plating fully covers the zinc core to maintain appearance and durability. However, this particular penny shows areas where the copper plating was incomplete or has been compromised post-minting, exposing patches of zinc core. This phenomenon resembles a natural patina or oxidation effect resulting in visually distinctive mottling and textural contrasts, which further improve its allure and uniqueness. Collectors often prize these exposed zinc patches as they demonstrate rare manufacturing irregularities and are difficult to find intact due to the reactive nature of zinc corrosion. Additionally, some observers have noted subtle evidence of die rotation errors on this coin, where the orientation of the reverse side is slightly tilted compared to the obverse, an error that reflects die misalignment when setting up the presses. Die rotation errors vary in severity but, when combined with other errors as in this specimen, add yet another layer of rarity and intrigue. No one element alone could fully explain the immense valuation of this penny, rather, it is the combined effect of all these errors: double die obverse, severe but not disqualifying off-center strike, prominent die cracks and cuds, incomplete copper plating exposing zinc, and die rotation, that composes its singular identity in the numismatic universe. This amalgamation is extraordinarily rare, making the coin a true one-of-a-kind in the mind of collectors and experts alike. On a broader scale, the story of this coin is also linked to the human and mechanical facets of minting practices in the early to mid-1990s. At that point, the mint was under increased pressure to produce an astronomical volume of coins annually while maintaining high-quality standards. The machinery used was increasingly automated and precise, and the mint was vigilant in quality control. Nevertheless, isolated incidents of multiple errors surviving quality inspection and entering circulation are a reminder that even the most advanced processes cannot perfectly eliminate all faults. The existence of this 1994 D penny is a fascinating example of these industrial and operational realities. It's a testimony to the complex interplay between technology, human oversight, and sheer chance in producing currency. Such coins add vivid narrative dimensions to what is often perceived as mere economic tools. The potential origins of this coin's discovery and passage into the collector market are as captivating as the coin itself. Stories have circulated of the penny being unearthed in private collections, accidental finds in circulated coin rolls, or from individuals who recognized its uniqueness immediately upon sight. This narrative enhances its mystique and desirability. For many collectors, the thrill of the find, the rarity coupled with the story of survival, heightens perceived value beyond the coin's physical characteristics. The $450 million valuation attributed to this penny is a reflection of both the coin's singular rarity and a dynamic global collector market where demand for the rarest and most unusual specimens continues to climb. Such valuations are not arbitrary but emerge from expert appraisals, auction interest, documented sales of related era coins, and the premium placed on coins that epitomize multiple rare era types. Moreover, the coin's accrued media coverage and numismatic discourse have propelled it into legendary status, attracting both seasoned collectors and new enthusiasts captivated by its inflation of normal expectations surrounding the penny. The market for rare coins, especially those with unusual errors, operates on principles that combine scarcity, desirability, condition, historical significance, and story. This 1994 D penny exemplifies these factors perfectly. While it may appear to a casual observer as just a damaged or flawed penny, to a connoisseur and collector, it represents a confluence of rarity, craftsmanship gone awry, and survival against the odds. It also stands as a cautionary but fascinating reminder of imperfection in mechanized industrial processes. Additionally, this penny has played an instrumental role in educating new generations of numismatists, coin graders, and hobbyists. It serves as a prime case study in the interplay of error types, minting process physics, metallurgical effects, and quality control practices. Institutions and experts have endeavored to analyze it thoroughly, developing extensive technical documentation and grading reports that enrich the collective understanding of mint production processes and error genesis. This pedagogical aspect further boosts the coin's importance and subsequent valuation, transitioning it from a mere collectible to an academic and cultural artifact. The 1994 D penny also reminds us of the broader social and economic history encapsulated in currency.